What's up, Louis? It's guys here. Hope all of you are doing great. So if you've been watching the news lately, you probably know that the stock market is going crazy. Earnings season just started and it hasn't been good news for some companies. So Google or Alphabet reported their quarter 3 earnings last night, and investors overall didn't really like what they saw. In this video, I'll be covering the latest quarter 3 results, and hopefully this can help you to determine whether you still want to be invested in Google, or maybe you want to sell your shares, or maybe you want to buy some more. With that said, this is going to be an unbiased review. Like most of you know, I already own Google and I really like the stock quite a lot. So I'm going to explain to you guys the stuff that I really like and other stuff that I really don't like. With that said, hopefully you can kind of determine whether it is a good investment at the moment or not. And currently Google is trading around $104 per share. And after the earnings was released, their shares dropped quite a bit. I think it was almost 6%. So before we jump straight into the video, if you like the effort that I put into these videos, please consider subscribing to my channel. I really try to post this type of videos as quickly as possible. And I'm going to try to focus on more earnings reports as soon as they are released. With that said, if you actually subscribed or liked this video, here's a photo of a cute cat to say thank you. With that said, let's jump straight into the earnings report. So the earnings report, you can literally download it on Google. You can search Alphabet quarter 3 2020 results and it will show you the earnings report. So I'll share my screen with you guys, and I've highlighted the important stuff and I'm going to share that with you guys. So first of all, we are going to start with what Google actually said in the beginning of the results. They said financial results for the third quarter reflect healthy fundamental growth in search and momentum in cloud. While affected by foreign exchange, we're working to realign resources to fuel our highest growth priorities. So overall, this is definitely a positive statement, and I really do feel that Google is still growing quite a lot. They had revenues of $69.1 billion, which is up 6%. So we can see that there's an increase of quarterly revenue of around 6%. And because of the change in constant currency revenues year over year, it would have been 11%. And basically what the change in constant currency means is that Google earns revenue in more than one country. In other words, they earn money in dollars and in yen and in euro. So if the dollar is very strong, obviously other countries' currency is weaker. That means that this will affect the revenue that Google will receive. So there's around a 5% difference between the currency headwind and the actual revenue. So it would have been 11%, but currently it is 6%. So at least the revenue is still growing. It is not a lot of growth, but we'll get to the important stuff in just a few minutes. Operating income is down quite a bit, and I'm not gonna lie, this is not necessarily very good. And personally, I don't look too much at the operating income because there's quite a lot of stuff that affects this number. And I'll show you guys in just a minute. Again, the net income is down quite a bit as well, and this is definitely not the best news, and I think this is something that really spooks a lot of investors. Personally, I try not to focus on the net income too much, although it is definitely not the best news. Next, we'll scroll down and I want to show you guys the way that Google generates revenue. Obviously, we all know Google search. Luckily, the revenue is up from 37 billion to 39.5 billion. YouTube ads, and this is a big one, is down from 7.2 billion to 7 billion. And I really think that this is one of the reasons that people sold off after closing. Google network is down as well. And then Google advertising overall is up quite a bit. Definitely not what I wanted to see, but I mean, in these environments, this is really not too bad. Google Other is up as well. Then it shows that Google Services in total is up as well. Before we go ahead, I just want to scroll down to show you guys what actually falls under Google Services. At the bottom it shows, let me just get this. Google says that Google Services includes products and services such as ads, Android, Chrome, hardware, Google Maps, Google Play, Search and YouTube. Google Services generates revenue primarily from advertising, sales of apps, in-app purchases, digital content products and hardware, and fees received for subscription-based products such as YouTube Premium and YouTube TV. This hopefully helps you guys to understand what the services or the total Google Services is. And then the one that I'm really excited about is Google Cloud. Google Cloud is up from around 5 billion to 6.8 billion. And this is really quite good growth for Google Cloud. I personally feel that Google Cloud will be very profitable in the future, and Google really keeps on investing more and more into Google Cloud. This is really something that I want to see as a long-term investor. I really want Google to invest more in their business, and I'll show you guys exactly why and how they do this. Next, we'll scroll down, and this is just something interesting that I wanted to show you is the number of employees that Google has. Currently, they have 186,779 employees, up from 150,000. This just shows that Google is growing their workforce, and this ultimately means that the business itself is growing. If you employ more people, obviously the business is growing. This is interesting to see because other companies is definitely slowing down their hiring. So at the moment, Google Cloud is not profitable. So they are still losing quite a bit of money, but ultimately this is because they are reinvesting their money into the business for it to grow in the near term and obviously long term. I feel eventually the business will be profitable and it will be a cash machine for the company. Next, we'll scroll down and we'll have a look at Google's balance sheet. So if you haven't watched my previous video where I analyzed the Q2 results, definitely go and check that out, where I share a lot of interesting information about the balance sheet. And Google really has a very strong balance sheet, and that's one of the main reasons that I love investing in the company. I personally feel that they have one of the strongest balance sheets on the stock market. So just to show you guys a few things that I'm not too happy with. First, I just wanted to show you the cash and cash equivalents, which has been growing, which is obviously good. But unfortunately, the total cash and cash equivalents has been going down. It's down from 139 billion to 116 billion. The reason for this is because of the amount of money that Google really reinvests in their business. When we scroll down, we can see property and equipment has been going up, which means that they are reinvesting into their business. Besides that, ultimately the total assets is still quite flat. It's down just a tiny bit, but I mean, having $358 billion worth of assets is just insane. So the total liabilities is down with about $3 billion, which is great news and something that I really like to see. Another thing that I always like to look for is retained earnings. And this is something that Warren Buffett also likes to see on a balance sheet. And here we can see that the retained earnings just keeps growing. When we scroll down, we'll go and have a look at the statement of income. And here we can just see a bit better what is actually going on. Again, revenue is up quarterly as well as year to date. And as of September 30th, they have a revenue stream of $206 billion. Unfortunately, research and development is really up quite a bit. This can also form part of their Google Cloud. The total cost and expenses has also gone up quite significantly. And this is something that I don't really like to see. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, this is not necessarily a good thing. Besides that, in the beginning of the video, I spoke about operating income and net income and why I don't really like to focus on that. And that is because of other income. Other income can be investments that Google has, and obviously that fluctuates with time. And let me just quickly show you guys with the previous year-to-date results. Google actually had an increase of other income of $9.5 billion. And at the moment they are taking a loss of $2.5 billion. So that's a difference of around $11 billion, which really affects your net income at the end of the day. And obviously you guys know, if you have an investment, it goes up and it goes down, but over long term it will or should go up. So this is something that I really like to look at as well. And this really affected the net income. So if it wasn't for the other income that went down quite a bit, the net income would have been pretty flat, or maybe it would have grown as well. Again, Google keeps on buying back some of their shares, and we can see it here with the shares calculations. And this is great because you want a company to buy more shares, especially when the share price falls. This just shows you that the company is confident in what they are doing. They will scoop up more shares as soon as they get the chance. Next, we'll scroll down and I'll show you guys the cash flow statement. Again, you guys know that this is my favorite, and this is really the stuff that I like to focus on. I wanted to show you guys the net cash provided by operating activities. And for the quarterly, it is down, and this is one of the biggest reasons that I was quite disappointed in the results that Google shared. But again, I really want to be honest with you guys and show you the stuff that I don't like to see. And this is one of the main stuff that I don't like to see, and that is net cash provided by operating activities. So at least it is up year to date. Last year it was 66 billion and now it is 76, almost 78 billion. It's not up a lot, but it is still up. And then purchases of property and equipment, which is known as capital expenditure, is up as well. And I really like to see this because CapEx can mean that Google is really reinvesting into their business. They are reinvesting in Google Cloud, and they are really trying to grow their business as much as possible. There's a statement that the CEO of Google made where you obviously get times of massive growth, and then you get slower times where you need to optimize the company to prepare for future growth. With that said, I like this because Google really keeps on investing in the company, and they don't seem like they're slowing down anytime soon. And then lastly, we can see the repurchases of stock, and this is insane because Google buys back $43 billion of stock yearly. And again, if you guys don't know what a stock repurchase is, this ultimately just helps the value of the company to increase. With all of this information out of the way, you guys really know that Google is a great company. We all use the platform. I personally love investing in the company. And then lastly, I just wanted to show you guys on the platform Stock Unlock the price to free cash flow and the price to operating activities. So first we'll start with the price to free cash flow. And here we can see the average price to free cash flow that Google has is around 29.18. And currently it is trading at 20.95. So historically, if we go back quite a bit, we can see Google is definitely trading at a low price to free cash flow. Obviously, if the company's free cash flow decreases, that means that your price to free cash flow will go up, and then it makes the company less undervalued than it currently is. Secondly, we are going to work with price to operating cash flow, and the historical price to operating cash flow is around 17, and currently it is trading around 14. So again, it is definitely on the lower side, which means that the company is trading for a very low price at the moment. Currently it's selling for $104 and it's definitely going down as soon as the markets open today. So with that said, I hope that this can help you in some way. Personally, I feel that Google is really not doing too bad. It was definitely not the best quarter, and I'm going to be honest with you. But if we have a look at some other companies, especially tech companies, Google really isn't doing too bad. I personally feel that I will keep investing in Google, although this is not financial advice. I hope that this video can help you in some way to make an informed decision. So with that said guys, I'll check you in the next video.